What's up, world? I'm Cameron McKinney, and this is Pop Culture Spotlight, a podcast about the movie Mountainhead. Here's a quick synopsis. A group consisting of 4 tech moguls converge for a getaway while there's crisis throughout the world. The film stars Steve Carell, Corey Michael Smith, Ramy, Youssef, and Jason Schwartzman. Standout performances. There were lots of things about this movie that piqued my interest, and at the top of the list was the involvement of Steve Carell, whose early films were filled with comedies: Anchorman, The 40-Year-Old Version, Get Smart, and Date Night. 2 of my favorites during that time period are Little Miss Sunshine and Dan in Real Life. Both prove that he's a funny actor who should be taken seriously. Then with Foxcatcher, he was nominated for an Oscar. He made the shift to more dramatic work with The Big Short, Battle of the Sexes, Beautiful Boy, and Vice. And then in the last few years, the man best known for The Office returned to television numerous times, starting with The Morning Show from 2019 to 2021, Space Force from 2020 to 22, The Patient in 2022 as well, and this year has the 4 seasons. What's interesting about Carell's entire career is he goes back and forth between playing nice guys like Cal Weaver in Crazy Stupid Love and unlikable ones like Trent in The Way, Way Back. With this movie, he's playing more of the latter with Randall, a billionaire who is struggling with his own mortality. He can't comprehend when his doctor tells him he's got 5 to 10 more years to live and lies to his so-called friends about the state of his health. The other characters view him as a fatherly figure, but the most interesting thing about him is his unwillingness to be a mentor. He's a guy who wants to remain on top and blatantly wants to live forever. This is the best Steve Carell performance in a movie, in my opinion, since Vice. I don't think Carell is on the same level as the guy I'm about to compare him to, but I do believe there are a lot of similarities between Steve Carell and the late great Robin Williams. Both became famous because of a hit sitcom, Robin Williams with Mork and Mindy, and Steve Carell, of course, with The Office. Both are hilarious comedians who have also done stellar work in dramatic films. And also, like Williams, Steve Carell has done a lot of voice work in movies. Minions, Horton Hears a Who. It's not fair to compare any actor to Robin Williams, but if you're going to do it, Steve Carell is the guy. He is having a career similar to that of Robin Williams. Again, I don't think it's as good, but he's doing some of the same things. I would also like to say I don't believe it's out of the realm of possibility that one day Steve Carell, like Robin Williams, is going to become an Oscar winner. I like Steve Carell as a comedic actor, but I have missed his presence in dramatic movies, and this movie makes use of both of his talents. He gets to say funny lines while also doing something more dramatic than what he's done lately. I also got to admit, I haven't seen a lot of Steve Carell over the last 5 years because I don't watch a lot of the television shows he's been a part of. Now, I've been somewhat interested in them, but I haven't gone around to watching them. I have missed Steve Carell in movies, and I'm glad he's back with Mountainhead. Corey Michael Smith is fast becoming one of my favorite actors. He's just so good at playing uber confident characters. Chevy Chase and Jason Reitman's Saturday Night. In Mountainhead, the actor plays Venice, one of the richest CEOs on the planet, but his company Tram has a terrible reputation due to giving out misinformation. He's got a grand view of the world, which makes him both exciting and dangerous at the same time. Seeing him paired with an A-lister like Steve Carell only makes me believe in him as an actor more. He not only holds his own, he gives the best performance in the movie. He's got that it quality that has me believing he is going to be a future movie star. I've been a fan of Jason Schwartzman for a long time, not only because of his work with Wes Anderson, but also for Listen Up Philip and Saving Mr. Banks. Schwartzman had an amazing 2023 with Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. He's becoming a better and better actor as the years go by. In Mountainhead, Schwartzman plays Hugo, aka Soup, who is one of the four friends who is not a billionaire and is desperately trying to become one. I would argue he's the most complex character in the entire movie because he is wealthier than almost anyone else on planet Earth except for the three people he considers to be his best friend, and he doesn't value himself because his bank account is missing a B. I think that's a dangerous thing to be as a human being, to be that successful and view yourself as a failure. There's real sadness with this character. Like, I have real empathy for him because we could all be in that situation. Even if we were that wealthy, it's not that far-fetched to feel the way this guy feels throughout the movie, comparing himself to his friends and rivals. And finally, you have Ramy Youssef playing Jeff, who views himself as the noble member of this group. He sees the chaos. In my opinion, he is the least interesting character of the movie because he's not a villain. He's kind of the moral center. And he's also the one I'm not sure how the movie wants me to feel about him, because at the same time, he can see the evil that's around him, but he's still willing to be friends with these guys. Mountainhead was written and directed by Jesse Armstrong, the man behind Succession, one of the greatest shows I've ever watched, and many have pointed out he's brought a lot of the same elements to this movie, and who he reminds me of is none other than Aaron Sorkin, who did the opposite. He started writing hit movies like A Few Good Men and The American President, and then did television shows, The West Wing, Sports Night, Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, and The Newsroom. Everything he makes feels like it was made by Aaron Sorkin. The sharp dialogue that's coming at you 1,000 miles an hour, the walk and talks, he is singular, no matter if it's for a movie or a television show. And Armstrong is the same way. If you're a fan of his, he's going to give you what you want, satire about the rich. But if you're looking for him to deviate, hold your breath. The other similarity I see between Sorkin and Armstrong is the dialogue between these characters are not realistic. People don't talk like that, with grand statements and long monologues. They are both attempting to give you maximum entertainment with social statements in them. I've talked about this before on the podcast. I am a sucker for great dialogue. That's why I am a huge fan of Aaron Sorkin and have become a huge fan of Jesse Armstrong. If they are involved in something and they wrote the script, I am going to give that the time of day because I think they are excellent writers. Another interesting element of Mountainhead is the fact that Jesse Armstrong, a fantastic writer, is for the first time directing, and people have not always loved it when screenwriters make the jump to directing. I mean, Aaron Sorkin is another example of that. Not everyone loves the films he's directed. Molly's Game, The Trial of the Chicago 7, Being the Ricardos, almost everyone's favorite films written by Aaron Sorkin are the ones that are directed by David Fincher, Rob Reiner, Mike Nichols, Bennett Miller. It's this idea that maybe these writers are not the best at adapting their own screenplays. When it comes to Jesse Armstrong, I mean, almost every one of the great episodes of Succession was directed by Mark Mylod, who went on to direct the movie The Menu with Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, and Ray Fiennes. So one has to wonder, would Mountainhead be an even better movie if it were directed directed by Mark Mylod. I would like to, for the record, state that I am a big fan of the movie Mountainhead, and I do not know the answer to that question. I understand the Aaron Sorkins of the world and the Jesse Armstrongs of the world wanting to be directors as well. I think it's just hard to believe that they'll ever be as good visually as they are writing the screenplays. That's their gift to movies. That's their gift to television, is their extraordinary dialogue. And I do believe with Mountainhead, Armstrong proves himself to be a capable director. I like the films written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. I really liked The Trial of the Chicago 7. The problem is, with writers like these, you know that the best directors working today would want to direct a movie written by these two individuals. For instance, Jesse Armstrong was nominated for an Oscar for co-writing the film In the Loop, a movie directed by the great Armando Iannucci. It's like, would I rather watch a movie directed by Jesse Armstrong or Armando Iannucci? The answer is always going to be Iannucci. Let's get into the movie Mountainhead itself. I can understand people not wanting to watch something that looks into the mindset of a billionaire. It's a topic we have to hear about every day now. Everyone has thoughts and opinions on these men who have an insane amount of money. What puts Armstrong ahead of the pack on this particular topic is he looks at these men who view themselves as mythical figures as humans. The four of them believe they have the power to change the world instantly, that they have an unlimited amount of control. And the danger with the individuals in the movie is the fact that they can create change in the world, but they don't know how to control any of it. The other thing that Armstrong is looking into in this movie is AI, and the fact that it's making it hard to see what's real and what isn't. Again, another topic that you might look at and be tired of. What Armstrong is saying is, in the not so distant future, we are not going to know anything that's real or fake on the internet, that we are not going to be able to tell the difference between the two, and that it's going to have a dangerous impact on our real lives. And that's not something that I've really been thinking all that much about when it comes to AI. I mean, when we have that AI discussion, we talk about the fact that it might replace your job. It feels like the state of AI right now as we speak is that you can scroll the internet and basically tell what's real and what isn't. Like when I see a video with fake dialogue, I can tell that it was made up. But I think this movie is saying that at some point we're going to be on the internet and not be able to tell what's real and what isn't anymore. And that is a scary thing to think about. And what Armstrong is saying is that the people in charge, these so-called billionaires, do not care about that whatsoever. Getting back to Corey Michael Smith's Venice, the only reason he wants to improve his own company's AI is because he wants to repair his reputation. He wants to remain in power. He doesn't want the government to interfere with his company and his wealth whatsoever. He does not care about the public. In fact, throughout the movie, he's watching the chaos and enjoying it like it's a show and like he's above it all. I do want to take a minute and talk about the idea of a television movie, because I do think it's an interesting middle ground, because all we're getting with big movies nowadays is franchise fare. I do believe that the television film should exist. Like HBO should be giving Jesse Armstrong the platform to make whatever he wants to make. And I think others should follow. I think Netflix should be making more movies like Mountainhead. Instead, they make action movies that used to be in movie theaters. I think when you look at Mountainhead, some people are critiquing the movie by calling it a television movie, but that's exactly what it was intended to be. It does not feel like a movie you would want to sit and watch in a movie theater, but as a television television movie, it is better than 95% of what else is on TV right now. And one of the reasons there are so many people out there that right now prefer TV to movies is the writing is a lot better. The Jesse Armstrongs are all in television right now. So when he goes and makes a movie and it's a TV film, it is better written than 90% of movies that are made today. My two biggest issues with most movies nowadays are one, they are bad looking, and two, they are poorly written. I don't know what Jesse Armstrong is going to do next. Maybe he's going to do another television show, but I would love for him to do another made-for-TV movie for HBO that has really good actors in it with incredible dialogue. This is something I hear all of the time, that television is better than it's ever been, and there's some truth in that. There is amazing writing in television. The look of these shows are a lot better than what they used to be, but the problem is that every television show, even a miniseries, is at least 10 hours long. I like the format of a movie. I like the fact that I can watch something within 2 hours and get a beginning, middle, and an end. I think the big mistake being made when talking about this movie is comparing it to Succession, one of the best shows ever. I get why you're comparing it to Succession. It's made by Jesse Armstrong. He's doing a lot of the same things, but they are two different things altogether. I also just wanted to see other actors other than Jeremy Strong and Kieran Culkin get a chance to work with this kind of dialogue, because most actors don't get to work with dialogue of this caliber. And again, I go back to Aaron Sorkin. What I love about Aaron Sorkin is getting to see great actors work within the Sorkin dialogue. Jesse Eisenberg's, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, and Jesse Armstrong is becoming one of those writers. You want to see your favorite actor deliver his dialogue. You want to see Steve Carell get his chance to say words written by Jesse Armstrong. Another thought I had is movies are in a weird spot. Mountainhead is being criticized for being too topical about life right now, and we also criticize other films for avoiding contemporary issues. Mountainhead is not a movie that's about these billionaires just for attention's sake. It has something real to say about these figures that are very much relevant to the culture right now. It is really interesting to me that critics are liking this movie a lot more than audiences, and I really don't know what that's about, because I do think this movie is really entertaining. Again, I think it does have something to do with that they're all just tired of these certain topics. We hear about AI all the time. We hear about billionaires all the time. And maybe they're looking at the movie and saying it has nothing new to say about these topics. And that's just something I strongly disagree with. I think this movie is really trying to investigate the problem with these kind of billionaires. And one of the things I really got from the movie that I think is really scary about them is the fact that they don't really get along, that they don't respect each other, even though they are on the same level. There's a scene in the movie where Jeff's net worth rises above Carell's Randall, and it doesn't make Randall respect Jeff anymore. He still believes he's a far superior human being. There's another scene where the four of them half jokingly say that they could rule the world, and the scary thing is each and every one of them believe they are worthy of that honor. The positive about this being a television film on HBO means that it's going to get more eyeballs on it than if it were to go to movie theaters. I don't think this movie would make a lot of money in movie theaters, and I think the fact that it was made by the guy who made Succession means that fans of that show are going to give this a chance, and I actually like the fact that they have strong feelings about it, positively or otherwise. I don't know how big the conversation conversation surrounding this movie is, but I do like the fact that I hear people talking about it on podcasts. They're writing about it. People have feelings about it. There are just so many movies in today's world where you don't know how people actually feel about them. The other benefit of television is you're getting this instant reaction to the movie. It was on TV, a lot of people saw it, and now you're seeing all of the reactions to it in real time. The movie was made super fast, and now people are reacting to it super fast. The minute I heard about who was writing and directing this and who the 4 actors were going to be, I was all in on this film, Mountainhead, and it did not disappoint. It's really hard for me to even think about a performance better than the one given by Corey Michael Smith in the movie Mountainhead. He's phenomenal. His future is super bright. Thanks for listening to this edition of Pop Culture Spotlight. I'm Cameron McKinney, and there'll be a new episode of the podcast every Thursday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I highly recommend you check out the film Mountainhead. Next week on the podcast, I'm talking about the movie On Swift Horses, starring Daisy Edgar-Jones, Jacob Elordi, Will Poulter, Diego Calva, and Sasha Kaye. So tune into that, and please rate, review, and subscribe.